Welcome to Gin Clear Aviation. My name is Dan. Today we're going to fly from Popham to Perranporth in Western Cornwall. We're going to be routing west of Southampton zone, north of the Bournemouth zone, just south of Exeter, and then we'll talk to Newquay on our way into Perranporth. And once we get to Perranporth, we'll work out which approach we're going to make and which runway to choose. First of all, let's look at the flight planning on SkyDemon, and then during the flight we'll look at the radio calls and the information that each station needs to hear from us. So let's jump into my Cessna 182 and let's go flying. Here we can see on the SkyDemon map an overview of my flight. 163 miles that should take approximately 1 hour and 16 minutes. I start at Popham, fly just northwest of the Southampton zone and continue north of the Bournemouth zone. Then, maintaining a westerly heading, I fly south of Exeter Airport, and after passing Newquay Airport I will descend and land at Perranporth. Let's take a closer look at the flight in sections. I take off from Popham and fly directly to the visual reporting point of Bullington Cross. I will then continue southwest to my user-defined waypoint here, but on the way I will be passing under the Military Air Traffic Zone stub of Middle Wallop. This airspace starts at 1,407 feet, so I will transit this area at 1,300 feet to avoid any conflict. Once past this stub, I can initiate a climb. I have to be wary of the Southampton zone, which starts at 1,500 feet in this area. I could talk to Southampton and ask for a transit, but as this section of flight will happen quite quickly, it'll be easier to avoid their space and concentrate on accurate flying. I will then continue southwest. My next waypoint is the IFR waypoint of Osnug. This will take me north of the Bournemouth zone. I will have the Bournemouth listening squawk dialed into my transponder and be listening out on their radio frequency. I will then head for Bevup. From Bevup we travel west to the VRP of Axminster. This route takes us directly through an area of intense aerial activity, defined from surface to 6,000 feet and enclosed in the area depicted by the grey dot and dash line. This area is looked after by Yeovilton, so I will be talking to their control service for clearance and monitoring through this zone. After Axminster, I will talk with Exeter, which is a busy commercial airfield. They have a radar service. I have elected to route south of their field via the VRP of Exmouth to avoid any conflict with traffic on the instrument landing system and takeoff routes. As we progress west on the final leg of my journey, I will talk with Newquay, who also have a radar service and are very active with commercial flights. I will be passing through the approach and takeoff zone, so caution and radar contact will be important here. After this, it should be a quick run into Perranporth. Let's just have a quick look at the Poolage plate for Perranporth. There are 4 possible runways, 22 and 04 being the most common, with 09 and 27 available if the wind dictates. I will make the decision on which runway to use when we start our descent and approach.
Golf Delta Alpha November Oscar, Popham Radio.
Golf November Oscar, Popham Radio, readability 5, runway 26 for the right hand circuit, QNH 1020.
Runway 26 right in use, QNH 1020, Golf November Oscar. So we've just had a quick chat to Popham Radio there, and they've given us that the runway in use is 26 right, and the QNH today is 1020, nice high pressure. So now we can taxi out to the engine run-up point for runway 26, and then we'll go from there. So we have two planes coming in on finals, and once they have landed and vacated the runway, we can line up on runway 26 and take off. Golf November Oscar is lining up runway 26.
Golf November Oscar, roger.
Golf November Oscar rolling 26.
Golf November Oscar, roger.
Golf November Oscar downwind.
November Oscar, clear to the west, request change to 120230 for Southampton, November Oscar.
Golf November Oscar, roger, safe journey.
Thanks, bye. Okay, so we've been released now from Popham and we're going to change to the listening squawk of Southampton, or what's called the Solent Zone. Solent Zone is on 120.230, and we squawk 7011. 7011, and now, because we're on a listening squawk, they can see on their radar screen that we're listening to them with the squawk of 7011, and if they need to talk to us they can, and if not, we'll just stay out of their way and fly around their zone. Okay, we're moving west now from the Solent Zone, so I'm going to change the frequency to Bournemouth radar, which is 119.480.
Controlled airspace, radar control.
Enter that and stand by, and we'll change that now, and then their listening squawk is 0011. So now we're on the listening squawk of Bournemouth radar, and they'll be looking at us on their screen, and they know that if they need to talk to us, if there's some sort of conflict or we get into their zone, then they'll talk to us. If not, they'll just see us go by, which is great news. We're also still at our low altitude of 1,300 feet, and now we're clear of all mat zones and all the problems. So I'm going to climb now to 4,500 feet, which should take us all the way there now. Now 4,500 feet will probably take us above the cloud base here and through the clouds and onto the top, which is absolutely fine. The clouds are all broken and we'll be able to see the ground through the top of them. So for the climb, I've set an engine setting of 24 inches of manifold pressure and 2,400 RPM. Which is a good climb setting. I've also put the mixture in a bit more because I was leaned out there. So we're running at about 48 litres an hour now, which should climb it. At the moment we're 2,300 feet and we're climbing to 4,500. And we're climbing at a speed of 115 knots, and it will hold 115 knots until we attain the 4,500 feet, level off, and then we're in the cruise then, and I'll reset up the lean of the engine and everything else. It's always lovely just to pop through the clouds and come on top. It's always brighter and cleaner and less hazy. And obviously we can see down now through the clouds into the lovely green fields of England, but at 4,500 feet on top it'll be nice and smooth. We can lean the engine to a very good low amount of litres per hour, cool the engine down when we're in the cruise, and just go for it. Now set up in the cruise with the engine setting here, and we've set it up for 22 inches of manifold pressure, 2,200 RPM, We'll check that the oil pressure is in the green and the oil temperature is in the green too. Over here we have the cylinder head temperatures and also the exhaust gas temperatures. And if I press lean assist, this will help me now lean the engine out. And currently we're using 45.5 litres an hour. Now if I use the mixture control here and start winding it out, as we go through some bumpy cloud, you'll see that at the bottom here, the exhaust gas temperatures will go green. Here we go, bluey green when they peak, and the litres per hour has come down to 40. And we keep leaning until all the cylinders have peaked. Just waiting for that number 1 cylinder to peak. Back in, that should have peaked, that one. Let's have a look. Let's going to pull the mixture back in. So we're coming up to about 37, 38, 40, there we go, 40 litres an hour. Coming back a bit. But about 40 litres an hour is right on this. So we're at 39, 40 litres. So now we're, instead of 56 odd, we're now 40 litres an hour, 38 and a bit. All the exhaust gas temperatures are minus, which means they're lean of peaks, they're cold. And we're looking at the cylinder head temperatures are all way under the 400, which is the limit we don't want to go over. And that's then a good cruise setting now. And so as we carry on flying at 4,500 feet, we'll just hold this setting and the engine should be nice and smooth as it runs along the track. As you can see, the view to the south there, I think we're looking down towards sort of the Bournemouth area. Is absolutely glorious. Bit of a broken layer of cloud.
Turn left heading.
We're now entering a new region. There's a Yeovilton army base, and they have an area of intense aerial activity, which is on the map. And so I'll point it out to you now. So this is the area of intense aerial activity that we are entering. So we should talk to Yeovilton because they're the patrolling body, and they will give us permission or maybe a squawk to go through there so they know who we are. So I'm now going to change from Bournemouth to Yeovilton, and we'll see what they say. Yeovil radar, good morning. Transit flight Golf Delta Alpha November Oscar.
Golf Delta Alpha November Oscar, Yeovil radar, pass your message.
Golf Delta Alpha November Oscar is a Cessna 182 out of Popham, destination Perranporth. Currently just approaching bev up, 4,500 feet on 1021. Request a basic service please, Golf November Oscar.
Golf November Oscar, standby. Golf November Oscar, confirm type of service required.
Request a basic service please, Golf November Oscar.
Golf November Oscar, squawk 4372, basic service, Portland 1016.
Squawk 4372 with a Portland QNH of 1016, Golf November Oscar. So we have to dial in 4372, 4372 on the squawk, and our new QNH is 1016, and the autopilot will automatically now take us back up to 4,500 feet on this new pressure setting. Our initial flight time from Popham to Perranporth was about 1 hour 24 on Sky Demon. I think that was mainly in still air. So at the moment, as we're being bumped around, I don't know if you can see here, but we've got a 26 knot headwind coming from 270 magnetic. So we're only getting a ground speed of 109 knots. So we've got a true airspeed here of 139. We've got an indicated airspeed of 130 at our engine setting, but our actual ground speed is 109 knots. So that's obviously, we're being pushed back 30 knots. So that will increase in flight time, and obviously will increase the time that we land at Perranporth.
November Oscar, squawk 7,000 feet, call Exeter 128.980, bye-bye.
7000 128.980 Golf November Oscar, thanks, bye. Okay, so we've been asked to change to Exeter radar 128.980. I've had that queued up, so we'll just press the change button, and we're squawking 7000. So we'll listen in now, see what's going on, and then we'll give them a call.
Squawk and altitude as we've got a new transponder, please.
Popham EGHP, indicating 2,000 feet and 0423 squawk.
2,000 feet, thanks.
It's nice and quiet now, so as soon as there's another gap, we'll go and I'll put the radio call in.
7 miles to the north of the field for rejoin. Exam 59, roger. Report the airfield in sight. Wilco, exam 59.
Exeter radar, good afternoon. Transit VFR flight, Golf Delta Alpha November Oscar.
Golf Delta Alpha November Oscar, Exeter radar, squawk 0402 and standby. Exam 59, right hand downwind join, runway 26, contact Exeter Tower 119.805, bye-bye. Position for a right hand downwind join, runway 26, have a field inside 119.805, exam 59. Golf November Oscar, pass your message.
Golf Delta Alpha November Oscar, Cessna 182 VFR out of Popham destination Perranporth. Currently approaching Axminster, 4,500 feet on 1016. Request a basic service and also request climb to 6,000 feet on 1016. Golf November Oscar.
Golf November Oscar, roger. What type of service?
Sorry sir, I request a basic service, and just for information I'm routing from Axminster direct to Exmouth VRP, Golf November Oscar.
Golf November Oscar, understood. It's a basic service, QNH 1022, 6,000 feet approved.
1022, 6,000 feet approved, Golf November Oscar.
Exeter radar, good afternoon, Golf Bravo, Uniform Victor Oscar.
Okay, so it's given us a new QNH of 1022, so let's put that in. I'm currently 4,500 feet, but I want to climb to 6,000 feet because I can see a large bank of cloud ahead of me, and I want to make sure I'm way above that. So I'm going to dial in on the autopilot 6,000 feet. I'm then going to tell it that I'm going to climb at an indicated airspeed of 115 knots, and now the plane will start to climb at 115 knots and will level off at 6,000 feet, which will get us hopefully above that cloud bank ahead, and we'll level off there and carry on. So here's Lyme Regis from 4,700 feet. Flying over the moors now, so I'm going to take a bit of video of the amazing moors down here. All quite barren.
Golf November Oscar, nothing further for you now. Squawk on security, set the free call to Newquay radar 133.405, goodbye.
Thanks very much. Change to Newquay 133405 and VFR Conspicuity, Golf November Oscar. Okay, so we've got that, so we've changed to Newquay on 133405, and she wants us to squawk 7,000, so we'll put in the Newquay frequency, 133405. That's now active. So now we're listening to Newquay radio, so again we'll listen for a while, see what's going on, and when there's a gap we'll talk to them and they'll probably give us a squawk, because we will be flying through their ILS into Newquay, just sort of southeast of Newquay as we come into Perranporth. So they'll follow us in and keep us going till we get to Perranporth, and then probably hand us over to Perranporth just before. When I talk to Newquay, I have to tell them where we are, and we're in quite a barren area. There's no towns or villages, but there's an IFR reporting point called City Sierra India Delta Delta India. So I'll tell them that we're at City basically, we're just over City now. So they will hopefully know where that is and they will be able to position us on their screen. Newquay radar, good morning. VFR transit flight, Golf Delta Alpha November Oscar.
Golf Delta Alpha November Oscar, Newquay radar, score 1747, standby.
So he's told us to squawk 1747 and stand by. So I'll put in 1747 and we'll just wait for him to come back to us. I think he got our call sign wrong, so we'll reiterate that when we speak to him. Golf Delta Alpha November Oscar is a Cessna 182 out of Popham. Destination is Perranporth. Currently 6,000 feet on 1022, just west of City, Sierra India Delta Delta India. Request a basic service please into Perranporth, Golf November Oscar.
Golf November Oscar, basic service, squawk, correction, you are squawking. The QNH is 1023, report ready for descent.
With a QNH of 1023 and squawking 1747, ready for descent, we will give you a call, Golf November Oscar. That was great, so we're on squawk. You can see us. He gave us a new QNH of 1023, so we've dialed that in. And he's just asked us to inform him when we want to descend from 6,000 feet down to Perranporth. So we'll start a descent a few miles before and we'll radio him and tell him that. As with all Cessna 182s, so there's always a disparity that here on the fuel quantity, the plane always uses more fuel out of the left tank than the right when the tank indicators on both. So I've just changed it now to right, which means it'll just run on the right tank, not the left, and so hopefully we can then bring that 129 down to sort of 90, and that will balance it out, and it'll be even in the tanks. So this is now the setting that I have. It's on the right hand tank instead of both, and we'll run on that for a while until the tanks balance themselves out. Golf November Oscar, request start a descent down to 1,500 feet into Perranporth, Golf November Oscar.
Stand by please, brake, Gemstone 93 November Kilo, turn left heading 020 degrees, base leg.
Copy this, turning left heading 020 degrees, base leg, Gemstone 19 November Kilo.
Golf November Oscar, initially descend not below 4,000 feet please, QNH 1023.
Not below 4,000, 1023, Golf November Oscar.
Echo Juliet.
Well, as you've heard, we've been allowed to descend. I wanted to go to 1,500 feet, but he's only allowed us to go initially to 4,000 feet, which is fine. And I would imagine once he's got the traffic into Newquay that he's working with, he'll allow us down to 1,500.
Golf November Oscar, you're well behind my inbound traffic now, thank you. No level restriction, QNH 1023, report changing to Perranporth.
1023, no height restrictions, so we'll carry on to 1,500 and call on change to Perranporth, Golf November Oscar. So we've been allowed to continue our descent now to, and I put in 2,000 feet, so we're going down to 2,000, which will get us under the cloud, and then we'll change to Perranporth when we're all visual, and see what runway we're on at Perranporth and organise ourselves for that. Golf November Oscar, request change now to Perranporth 119755.
Golf November Oscar, frequency change approved, score con security, goodbye.
Con security, thanks, bye. Okay, so we're going to change to Perranporth now. I've turned the autopilot off and we're on their frequency. Perranporth radio, good afternoon, inbound flight Golf Delta Alpha November Oscar. Perranporth radio, good afternoon, Golf Delta Alpha November Oscar.
It became obvious that no one was manning the radio at Perranporth. I had telephoned the day before to request PPR, prior permission to land. The person I conversed with at that time informed me that the airport would be open and all was fine, so I continued my approach, making blind radio calls on the Perranporth frequency.
Perranporth radio, Perranporth traffic, Golf November Oscar is joining from the east. We'll fly overhead to check the windsock and then land. Golf November Oscar. Radio, good afternoon. Golf Delta Alpha November Oscar is flying through the overhead and we'll decide on which runway. Golf November Oscar. November Oscar, Perranporth is in the overhead. We'll position for finals onto runway 27, Golf November Oscar. Okay, so we've been over the airfield and we've seen that the windsock favours runway 27. There's no one replying on the radio, so we'll just do blind calls to Perranporth traffic. So we'll do one now. Perranporth traffic, Golf November Oscar is turning long finals for runway 27, Perranporth traffic. I can see the runway off to the left there. We're just about to turn onto finals now. We're at 1,300 feet, which is 1,000 feet above the aerodrome level. And then we'll just slow down and we'll add some flaps. And we'll add another stage of flaps. And we'll organise a nice direct-in approach into runway 27. Here at Perranporth, because the wind's coming over the cliff, there might be rotor wind coming turbulence to us, so I'm coming in slightly. I'm not going to do full flaps, we're only doing 2 stages of flaps, coming in at about 73, 70 knots, just to keep the speed up so we can then just land nicely on the numbers and roll forward. Nicely down. There was no one on the radio there, so we just had to do blind calls and work out for ourselves which is the best runway. And obviously the windsock's the one thing to look at, and it favoured 27 completely. So now we're backtracking down 27 to the parking, which is outside the hangars. So Perranporth is an amazing airfield to fly to. And then it opens up St Agnes, Perranporth itself, amazing coastal walks all around Cornwall, and is a great position to land and then explore the area. We just taxiing around now to the parking point, which is in front of these green permanent hangars, and we'll tie the Cessna down because the wind can be quite ferocious at night time. So we'll peg her down and put the chocks in, wrap her up, and then we'll be ready for tomorrow's flight back. So I hope you enjoyed our flight down to Perranporth today. Please subscribe and like if you can, because that helps us build the channel. And this is Gin Clear Aviation. My name's Dan. See you next time.